Imagine you're in a bustling Manchester cafe, 1985. Students and professors huddled over notebooks, debating how to study society without turning it into a science lab or a guesswork game. Patrick McNeill at this table tosses a challenge. How do we actually research the social world without losing the messy human story? This question sparked decades of debate, evolving into the authoritative guide we call research methods. But here's the twist. Research isn't just about facts, it's about values, interpretations, and yes, a little bit of art. So how exactly do sociologists crack the code? Before we dive into methods, let's rewind to social research's wild origins. A journey from armchair theories to hands-on investigation, where the rules were as raw as the questions. Back in the late 19th century, you had thinkers like Herbert Spencer, comfortably theorizing social evolution without ever leaving their study rooms. They built grand models of society on pure speculation, like architects creating blueprints without checking the ground. McNeill points out that this armchair method was as shaky as you'd expect. It often missed the messy, lived realities people faced every day. Then came the shock, a move from mere observation to participation. Imagine a sociologist walking the gritty streets of Glasgow in the 1950s, blending into the crowd, noting behavior from within instead of peeking from a distance. Chapman calls this the transition from spectatorship to being part of the story. Suddenly, research became alive, subjective, risky. It's like swapping your binoculars for a pair of muddy boots. Numbers alone can't tell you about feelings, meaning, or values. The book drives this home by comparing sociology to jazz. Sure, there's structure, but improvisation, the human element, is where truth often hides. This means sociologists don't just crunch data, they interpret lives, which makes research both a science and a craft, constantly balancing objectivity with empathy. Now to the juicy part. How do sociologists actually gather the data? It's not all surveys and spreadsheets. Chapman and McNeill unpack a toolkit rich with surprises that bring society into focus. Take the classic example from the book, a survey in 1990s London exploring youth attitudes to crime. It wasn't just a bland checklist. Researchers crafted questions grounded in real slang and issues, showing how design matters. They learned that framing the right questions can turn a survey from boring stats into a window on lived experience. Ethnography is like undercover work. McNeill highlights a study where researchers spent months with a community in rural Wales, attending weddings, breaking bread, and witnessing day-to-day struggles firsthand. This immersive approach delivers stories you can't quantify, revealing society's soul through detailed observation and deep relationships, like reading a novel instead of a summary. Content analysis tackles society through its communication. Newspapers, ads, social media. A chapter details a study analyzing 1980s media portrayal of women, uncovering subtle shifts in stereotype reinforcement. It's like decoding the hidden messages embedded in everyday chatter, proving that what society says publicly hides a lot beneath the surface. Here's where it gets philosophical. How do we handle the messy clash of objectivity and human values in research? Chapman and McNeill don't shy away from the tension. Early in their careers, many sociologists wrestled with this question. The book tells of a 1970s debate. Should sociology mimic natural sciences and chase hypothesis testing, or embrace its unique social focus? Their conclusion: it's neither pure science nor art but a hybrid, like astrophysics, rigorous yet interpretive, demanding both precision and imagination. Values sneak into everything. McNeill describes a case where researchers studying homelessness had to confront their own assumptions about poverty. Accepting that you aren't a detached observer but a participant impacts study design and honesty. Think of it like baking. Your personal ingredients affect the final flavor, so good researchers name their biases instead of pretending they're invisible. Finally, presenting research is storytelling, not just charts. The new edition emphasizes that findings only matter if they're communicated compellingly. It's like launching a rocket. The data is fuel, but narrative is the trajectory. Telling the story well turns raw data into understanding, connection, and action, because people don't just want facts, they want meaning. Remember the Manchester Cafe where McNeill first challenged us? We've come full circle. Researching society means stepping beyond numbers to grasp lives in all their chaos and color. Try this. Next time you're curious about a social issue, pause before jumping to stats. Ask yourself what stories might lie beneath the surface. Because real insight begins when research respects people, not just data. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.